Welcome to the Key Exchange by Sushil Mishra and Himani Sood from Catch the Key Inc., powered by Remax West Realty Inc.
Absolutely.
In this episode, we're featuring a beautiful home listed by Catch the Key Inc., and we'll walk through what makes this property special, the lifestyle it offers, and why it could be the right fit for you.
Yeah, and this one is really going to challenge some of the trends we've seen lately.
It really is. So today we are doing a deep dive into a home that kind of proves why that decade-long obsession with knocking down every single wall to make one giant room might finally be coming to an end.
I think a lot of buyers will be relieved to hear that.
Right. We are looking at a stunning, detached, two-story brick home located at 75 Morrison Avenue in New Tecumseth, specifically the Alliston area.
It's a gorgeous area, really growing.
Oh, for sure. And just to ground you in the space right away, picture this commanding brick exterior. It was built in 2017.
Nice.
Yeah, it offers 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and it's roughly 2,700 square feet of above-grade living space, all sitting on a really nice 39 by 108-foot lot.
That is a very solid footprint for a family home.
It is. Now, just a quick rule check right out of the gate. We are not going to be giving out the current listing price or the MLS number today. If you are interested in those specific numbers, you will want to contact Realtors Sushil and Himani directly. Our mission for this deep dive is really to explore the property itself, the psychology behind its layout, and, what it actually means to live there.
And honestly, the detail that immediately stands out in that profile you just gave is the 2017 build date.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. In the real estate industry, a home that is roughly 6 to 9 years old often represents the absolute sweet spot for buyers, particularly in a climate like Ontario's.
Okay, I hear that term sweet spot thrown around a lot by real estate marketers, but let's be critical here. What does that actually mean for the person holding the mortgage?
That's a fair question.
Why is 2017 better than, say, a brand new 2024 build or even, I don't know, a charming place from the 1990s?
Well, it really comes down to predictability versus financial liability.
Okay, unpack that a bit.
When you buy brand new construction, you often deal with the unpredictability of a house literally settling into the earth. Within the first 3 years, you are almost guaranteed to see drywall pops, minor foundation cracking.
The new house growing pains, basically.
Exactly. You get grading adjustments in your yard and mechanical systems that simply haven't been stress tested through a few harsh Canadian winters yet.
Right. And the older homes.
On the other end of the spectrum, when you buy a house that is 25 or 30 years old, you are staring down the barrel of massive wallet-draining repairs. You're constantly calculating the remaining life of the roof, the windows, and the primary HVAC systems.
Which is incredibly stressful.
It is. But a 2017 build essentially bypasses both of those nightmares.
Oh, I see.
The foundation and framing have had time to fully cure and settle. But the mechanics are still highly efficient and relatively young. You get the modern architectural standards without the growing pains of a new build or the financial anxiety of an aging one.
Okay, let's unpack this. If we take that broad 2017 context and look at how it influences the actual daily flow, we see a distinct shift away from those giant, cavernous, open concept spaces that HGTV has been pushing for years.
Yeah, the completely wall-less main floors.
Exactly. When you step inside 75 Morrison Avenue, you do find a gorgeous eat-in kitchen that includes a walkout straight to the backyard. But you also have distinct, dedicated living and dining areas.
Which is such a nice balance.
It really is. Realtors Sushil and Himani from Catch the Key Inc. highlight how this home blends modern upgrades with everyday comfort, and they noted that the layout seamlessly connects to the outdoors.
The backyard space is great.
Yeah, they actually joked that Max, their golden retriever and chief entertainment officer, would thoroughly approve of this spacious backyard.
I'm sure Max would love it out there.
Oh, he absolutely would. But I have to ask, isn't the fully open concept still the gold standard for buyers today?
What's fascinating here is the psychological shift we are seeing in how people actually want to live versus how magazines tell them they should live.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, the massive, entirely open floor plan looks incredible in a wide-angle photograph. But the daily reality is often pretty chaotic.
Chaotic how?
Well, in practice, a fully open concept means the sound of the blender in the kitchen completely overpowers the television in the living room.
Oh, that's so true.
Right. It means that when you sit down on the couch to relax after a long day, you are forced to stare at the visual clutter of the dirty pots and pans you haven't washed yet. What 75 Morrison Avenue offers is what architects call zoned living.
Meaning you get the flow without the sensory overload.
Exactly that. You have logical connections between the rooms, so you don't feel isolated if you are cooking while someone else is in the family room.
Right, you're not locked in a tiny kitchen box.
No, not at all. But because you have a defined family room with a cozy gas fireplace, combined with a dining area that is somewhat separated from the kitchen, you get crucial acoustic and visual separation.
So people can actually do different things at the same time.
Yes. It allows different members of the family to engage in different activities without constantly being on top of one another.
I mean, that structural permission to just leave the dinner mess out of sight while you go decompress by the fireplace is a massive, understated benefit.
It's huge for daily mental health, honestly.
And it seems like that intentionality extends to the practical, high-traffic areas of the main floor as well.
It absolutely does, specifically regarding how the house handles the friction of everyday life.
Like the entryway.
Yeah, for instance, the foyer features durable ceramic flooring and a dedicated closet. It acts as an airlock between the snowy, muddy outside world and your clean indoor sanctuary.
Which is a necessity in Ontario.
Definitely. Furthermore, you have a main floor laundry room with direct access to the two-car garage.
Oh, wow. The mudroom laundry combination connected directly to the garage is brilliant.
It's a game changer for families.
In a Canadian winter, the daily sequence of coming home is usually a messy ordeal. But here, you pull the car in, drop the snowy boots, immediately toss the wet clothes right into the wash, and step into your main living space completely dry.
It's a highly functional loop.
Yeah, it easily saves a family 15 minutes of cleanup every single evening.
It speaks to a design that just respects the realities of the climate and the frantic pace of modern family schedules.
Totally. Now, if the main floor is built for surviving that morning rush and facilitating family dinners, a house of this size needs to balance that energy with a place to actually decompress.
Right, you need your private retreats.
Which brings us to the second level. It features 4 well-proportioned bedrooms, but we really need to focus on the scale of the primary bedroom.
The dimensions up there are fantastic.
We are talking about a room that is almost 18 feet by 14 feet.
Which is huge for a primary suite.
It is. To put that in perspective for you listening, imagine a space roughly the footprint of a single-car garage dedicated entirely to your bedroom.
That's a great way to visualize it.
Yeah, and it features pristine laminate flooring, a sprawling walk-in closet, and a luxurious 5-piece ensuite bathroom. Sushil points out that this layout, having 4 generously sized bedrooms on one level, is ideal for family gatherings and accommodating a growing household.
Yeah, you don't want anyone forced into a cramped space.
Exactly. No one gets stuck in a tiny repurposed den.
And that 5-piece ensuite is a critical element of that decompression you mentioned earlier.
Oh, for sure. Tell me more about that setup.
Well, in a 2017 build, a 5-piece setup means you are getting the double vanity, a deep soaking tub, and a separate dedicated shower.
No fighting over the sink in the morning.
Exactly. It transforms the bathroom from a purely utilitarian space where you quickly brush your teeth into a genuine daily retreat. It provides the infrastructure for a slow, relaxing morning routine or a quiet escape at the end of the day.
I love that. Now, from the fully realized spaces upstairs, let's take this deep dive all the way down to the basement.
Okay, let's head down.
At 75 Morrison, we are looking at an unfinished, full basement. Now, I have to play devil's advocate here.
Right.
When I see an unfinished basement, my immediate thought is that I am buying a massive, expensive construction project. Doesn't an unfinished space in a premium home feel like a missing puzzle piece?
This raises an important question about how we value potential versus completion. I would actually argue the exact opposite of that.
Really?
Yes. Buying a home with an unfinished basement in a relatively new 2017 build is a massive strategic value add, primarily because it prevents what we call lifestyle obsolescence.
The lifestyle obsolescence, break that down for me.
Sure. When you buy a home with a fully finished basement, you are paying a premium on the purchase price for renovations that somebody else designed, often years ago.
Right, you're paying for their vision.
Precisely. You are inheriting their choice of flooring, their lighting layout, and their wall placements.
So if they had, like, really specific taste, you're stuck with it.
Exactly. If a previous owner finished the basement to be a brightly colored playroom for toddlers, but your family consists of teenagers who need a lounge, or you need a dedicated, quiet home office, that finished basement is now obsolete for your lifestyle.
Oh, I see.
You paid extra for a space you have to rip apart anyway.
Ah, so an unfinished basement means you aren't paying for someone else's expensive mistakes or outdated tastes.
Precisely. It is a completely blank slate. You can build equity on your own terms at your own pace, creating a space, whether it's a state-of-the-art home theater, a gym, or an in-law suite, that perfectly aligns with your specific needs.
That fundamentally changes how you look at the space. It's not a missing feature. It is untapped equity waiting for the right moment.
It gives you control over your investment.
Okay, let's shift away from the layout and aesthetics for a moment and look at the engine of the house. The mechanics.
Always crucial.
Yeah, the systems hiding behind the drywall that dictate how smoothly your lifestyle actually runs. We have a 100-amp breaker panel, an owned furnace and air conditioning unit, a roof original to the 2017 build, a rented hot water tank at about $50 a month, and a Wi-Fi capable basement sprinkler system.
Which is a very cool modern feature, by the way.
It is. But I want to push back on that electrical panel for a second. Wait, 100 amps. For a modern, nearly 3,000 square foot home, isn't 200 amps the standard now, especially if someone is looking to install an electric vehicle charger in that two-car garage down the line?
It is a very fair critique, and it's exactly the kind of detail a vigilant buyer should question.
So what's the deal there?
The reality of 2017 construction is that 100 amps was still quite standard for homes where the heavy lifting appliances, like the furnace and the hot water tank, are powered by natural gas, which is the case here.
Ah, okay. That takes a huge load off the electrical.
Right. The electrical load is easily supported by the 100 amp service as it stands today. However, you are absolutely right about the future-proofing aspect.
Yeah. So if they want EV chargers later.
Exactly. If you are planning to add dual EV chargers or convert the entire house to electric heat pumps, a service upgrade might be a future consideration. But for the way the home operates right now, it is perfectly adequate.
That makes a lot of sense. And I want to highlight the owned furnace and air conditioning units.
Oh, that is a huge financial win.
It really is. In the Ontario market, builders have developed this notorious habit of locking buyers into predatory long-term rental contracts for essential HVAC equipment. Owning those units outright saves a homeowner thousands of dollars over a 5 to 10-year period.
It fundamentally lowers the monthly carrying cost of the property. When you combine that with a roof that has decades of life left, the financial predictability of this home is incredibly strong.
Which brings me to the documentation. When we look at the seller disclosures provided by the realtors, the transparency is striking.
They lay it all out there.
Yeah, the property has no known history of water seeping into the foundation, which is the absolute #1 terror for any buyer.
Definitely the biggest red flag avoided.
But they explicitly note right up front that the dishwasher is currently not working and that the basement freezer and microwave are excluded from the sale. Why point out the broken dishwasher so loudly?
It is the psychology of transparent negotiation. When you are making the largest purchase of your life, your defensive mechanisms are on high alert. You are constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop.
You're just waiting to find the hidden disaster.
Right. If the seller tries to hide a minor $400 appliance issue and the buyer discovers it during an inspection, the buyer immediately assumes there's a $40,000 foundation issue also being hidden.
It shatters the trust instantly.
It does. But by being entirely upfront and saying the home is structurally sound, the systems are great, but the dishwasher is broken, the agents are actively neutralizing that anxiety. It validates their claims about the major positive features of the home.
And this perfectly illustrates why Sushil and Himani are widely recognized as trusted realtors across the GTA and the Greater Golden Horseshoe.
They really understand how to build that relationship.
They are known for providing honest advice and practical market expertise. They aren't trying to distract you from a broken appliance by waving their hands at the beautiful laminate floors. They are giving you the unvarnished facts so you can calculate your costs accurately and move forward with confidence.
It is a masterclass in building genuine trust. It allows the buyer to make an empowered decision rather than a hopeful guess.
Absolutely. Now, expanding our view from the mechanical engine of the property, let's look at the environment it sits in. A house doesn't exist in a vacuum. It is anchored to a neighborhood.
Location is everything, right?
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. When we pull up the localized data reports for 75 Morrison Avenue, this specific address is classified as literal park heaven.
That isn't a term data aggregators throw around lightly.
It sounds pretty exclusive.
It is. Park heaven indicates a very specific high density of accessible green space within a tight radius.
We are talking about 3 distinct parks and 6 recreation facilities, all within a 20-minute walk from the front door.
That's incredible access.
It is. Bryan Golly Park is a mere 3-minute walk away. Hanley Park is 8 minutes away. McCarroll Park is just 10. Himani mentions that this neighborhood has a real, palpable sense of community.
Right.
And when you look at that layout, you can instantly see why.
The distance to that primary park fundamentally alters daily behavior.
How so?
Well, a 15-minute walk to a park is an excursion. You have to plan it, pack a bag, and dedicate a portion of your afternoon to it.
Right. It becomes a whole event.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But a 3-minute walk, that is an impromptu post-dinner stroll to burn off energy. That is taking the dog out for a quick, stress-free run before bed.
So you just end up outside more often.
Yes. The reduced friction of that proximity means you actually use the green space, which facilitates bumping into your neighbors and organically building that community, feel Himani highlighted.
And it isn't just about recreation. When we synthesize the surrounding infrastructure, the educational and safety layers are incredibly robust.
Families definitely look closely at that.
For sure. You have excellent access to designated catchment schools like Ernest Cumberland Elementary and Banting Memorial High School. But crucially, for families prioritizing bilingual education, you have French language options like Académie La Pinède nearby as well.
And from a safety perspective, Stevenson Memorial Hospital, along with the local fire and police stations, are all within a 5-kilometer radius.
That 5-kilometer frictionless zone of emergency services is something you don't realize the immense value of until you actually need it.
It's easy to overlook until an emergency happens.
Right. Until you have a kid who decides to test the laws of gravity off a swing set, being a 5-minute drive from the hospital is an abstract concept. When it happens, it is the most important feature of your home's location.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it really demands a shift in how we evaluate real estate.
What do you mean by that?
When you were looking at 75 Morrison Avenue, you were not simply buying 2,700 square feet of brick, mortar, laminate, and ceramic tile.
Right. It's more than the materials.
You are purchasing the right to that 3-minute walk to Bryan Golly Park on a warm Tuesday evening. You are buying the peace of mind that comes from top-tier schools and immediate proximity to emergency services.
You're buying the lifestyle.
Exactly. You are investing in a carefully structured microgeography that actively supports your daily physical and mental well-being.
So what does this all mean? It all comes back to the lived experience. Which brings me to a final thought for you to mull over as we wrap up this deep dive.
It's a great perspective to leave with.
When you look for a home, are you just mechanically checking off a list of rooms? 4 bedrooms, check. 4 baths, check. Or are you looking for the actual backdrop where your next chapter will unfold?
Because a house like 75 Morrison Avenue, with its solid, settled 2017 bones, its deep community roots, and its unfinished basement, providing literal room to grow without inheriting someone else's vision, is exactly the kind of environment that doesn't just shelter a family.
It really provides the foundation to build a genuinely great life story.
Couldn't agree more.
If you have any real estate questions, want to book a showing, or need trusted advice, call Susho at 647-300-6712 or Himani at 647-821-6712. You can also email us at admin@catchthekey.ca or visit www.catchthekey.ca. And if you'd like to be part of the Key Exchange, whether you're a client with a story, a local business owner, or someone who just have questions related to real estate, reach out. We'd love to talk to you or catch up for a coffee.